Get ready, everyone. Today we're diving into how you can make a seamless switch as PowerDesigner reaches its end of life. This is your chance to protect your data, future-proof your architecture, and stay ahead of the curve, all without missing a beat. We've got experts Steve Dillon and Jeff Giles from Sandhill here to show you why Erwin Data Modeler is your best move forward. Big insights, game-changing strategies. Let's get started and make this transition smooth and smart.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Hey, Jeff. Been a while.
Yeah. How are things across the pond there?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. It's a little warm at the moment.
Yeah.
Not used to the weather over the end.
Hey, I got a question. I just need to pick your brain for a sec.
Yep, go ahead.
I have a bit of a dilemma. SAP's phasing out PowerDesigner, and that's pretty much been my go-to data modeling tool for years. And I'm not thrilled that they're, phasing it out, but it's going to happen. So there's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, I heard about that. So obviously there are a few options, but have you thought about Erwin Data Modeler?
So, Steve, that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you today. I know you know a lot about Erwin Data Modeler, so I've got a couple of questions. The first question I have is, how's the user interface? Because I know that PowerDesigner's user interface hadn't changed since the early 2000s. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, well, in that time span, we've had a few refreshes of the UIs in Erwin Data Modeler. Most recent one, it's sort of a Microsoft Office ribbon style, toolbars, clean dialog boxes, multiple different panes to do different things on. It's really a lot more intuitive than it was back in the early days.
That's very encouraging because I'm used to using the Microsoft Office products and I've used the ribbon for a long time. So that's pretty good. But my next question is around interoperability. With PowerDesigner, different teams always wanted different outputs and different formats. Does Erwin handle model exchange well?
Absolutely. Yeah, Erwin worked with a partner called Meta Integration. They supply a wide range of bridges to import and export metadata between a whole bunch of different tools and formats and things, including PowerDesigner. So you can bring your existing PowerDesigner models into Erwin, and you can always send them back the other way if you want to do that as well.
That's pretty awesome because now I don't actually have to start from scratch. So I can actually leverage some of the work I've already done in PowerDesigner in Data Modeler. Now, I have another question. PD didn't exactly shine when it came to supporting NoSQL databases. So I've had to work on projects using MongoDB, Neo4j. How does Erwin handle those kinds of databases?
Yeah, well, obviously, Erwin's had a long history of supporting a wide range of relational SQL databases. In the last few years, they've also extended support for NoSQL databases, including Mongo and Neo4j, but other things such as Cassandra, Google BigQuery, lots of things like that. Also popular formats like JSON, Avro, Parquet as well. So really is a wide and expanding set of databases being supported.
Oh, that's awesome because PowerDesigner is pretty much not doing much in that area. So let's say I make the switch. How hard is it to sort of get up to speed and learn Data Modeler? Are there any resources out there? Is there a community I can talk to? Anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's Erwin's obviously been around for 30 years and more now, so it's well established in the market, got thousands of users, many of whom are happy to share their experiences with you. But there's also the basic documentation, support portal, and community portal that are provided by Quest. And of course, our own central consultant site. So we've got videos and things on there as well. And of course, there are events like this, the Skills 101 events. They're all available on the Quest site as well.
Oh, that's great because I've heard about Sandhill Consultants. I hear they're pretty good, so I'll have to look them up and give them a call. Um, where can I go to learn more about Erwin Data Modeler?
As I mentioned, the Quest website would be one of the first ones. So that will have links to the events, videos, other resources, also to the product documentation, the support portal, and the community portal as well. Of course, we've got our own websites at Sandhill Consultants. So we've got ourselves 25 years of experience in the data modeler and associated products as well. So lots of resources in there as well, articles, videos.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, I don't want to get sort of dead ended. I know that there's a lot of tools out there that are investing in the artificial intelligence stuff, like generative AI. Is Erwin investing in any of that stuff for their data modeling?
Absolutely. So we just had a new release of the data modeler, release 15. That doesn't have any AI in it, but we promise another release in the autumn, which will include generative AI, and then a further release later in the year when agentic AI is on the horizon as well. So lots of investment ongoing.
Pretty cool. You know what? Do you have a few minutes to actually, walk me through Data Modeler and show me some of the things we've been discussing?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look.
Great, thanks.
Okay, Jeff. So let's have a look at a few of the things that you were asking about there. So let's. This is the interface we were talking about. So as you can see, we've got that office style ribbon interface, all of these different groups up here, and it's fairly intuitive as to which one you're going to need, where things are hiding behind it there. We can hide that as well. Various options for customizing that. Got a whole set of toolbars here as well that we can use to gain rapid access to commonly used features, as well as the shortcut menu at the top here. So the new open save buttons and things like that, right there where you need them. So at the moment, this looks quite busy. Yeah, obviously, we've got that diagram interface in the middle there. We've got an object tree over on the left, and we've got a properties dialog on the right there that just shows a set of properties from the selected object, whether that's in the diagram or in the object tree there. And then a few other things down here. Log of all the things you're doing, advisories about the result of the last action, and an overview pane here. So it looks a bit busy at the moment, but we can tidy this up. We can pin these, hide them so that they only appear when needed. We can close them down altogether if we want to, and then bring them back from the menu. We can also float these things around. Okay, you can float them around within the application window. You can drag them outside of the window. You can then drag them onto a different monitor if you've got one of those as well. Drag this one. Just like to put my overview up at the top here and then pin it so it disappears. So I can always jump to it later. Okay, so that's the basic interface that we've got in terms of the UI as it opens. We've also got a set of guided editors behind each of these objects, whether you open them from the diagram or from the object tree in there. They all follow a similar sort of pattern. We've got a window at the top with a list of all of the objects of that type. at the top there, and then for the selected instance of that object, we've got tabbed property editors down below as well. And we can jump, this happens to be the entity editor. We can jump to attributes from here as well. And that follows the same sort of pattern. So list of all of the attributes for the current entity, and then properties for the selected attribute. So very intuitive, consistent interface throughout the product for all of the object types that are supported in there. Okay, so you did ask about the about model exchange, metadata exchange. So let's have a look at that and mention that we've got a set of import and export bridges from meta integration. So let's have a look at those. So for import, we've got a wide range of sources that we can choose from. As you can see here, all sorts of tools, databases, going way back eons of time. And you will see here, if we go down far enough, we've got that PowerDesigner. So a wide range of PowerDesigner options here: CDMs, LDMs, OOMs, PDMs, all of those sorts of things. You could import from version 6 right up to 16 in there. So if you want to import your existing models, you can do that. And there's a similar set of exports. It's not an entirely equal set of exports to import, but certainly PowerDesigner is in there, as well as most of the big ones in there. Okay, so another thing that we mentioned was the support for databases. So let's have a look at that. Let's go into the Actions menu and choose Reverse Engineer. So in terms of database support, what we mean by database support is support for round-trip engineering rules. So you can reverse engineer, you can make changes, then you can forward engineer to the database. It doesn't even have to be the same database. You can reverse engineer one database, forward engineer to another. So that's a useful feature as well. So what we have in here, a long list of databases. We can see we've got NoSQL databases in there, Cassandra, Couchbase, Mongo, Neo4j. We've got Google BigQuery in there as well. Lots of things in there, as well as obviously the big ones that we're all used to: SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, Teradata, all of those things as well. So that's what we've got there. So I'll do a little bit of a round trip with SQL Server so we can see what happens there. So I'm going to connect to a database. There's also an option to connect to a script, but I've got a local database, so I'll connect to that. First thing we've got to do is make that connection. Okay, and then we can choose our schemas. We can filter through them. We can select individual ones or sets of them. I'll just choose all of them. Similarly with tables, select the lot there. We can also choose to import a subset of the object types if we want to. I'm just going to take the default set. I'm going to hit OK, and then it's going to run through nice and quickly. So what it's doing now is just querying the system tables, bringing them back the metadata, and as it's doing that, it's building a diagram of the interrelationships of the objects. Okay. There we have our default diagram in there. We can change things in here quite easily. So I don't happen to like IDEF, so I'm going to change that to information engineering. So the new style notation on that as well. So we can zoom in, zoom out. We can select bits and pieces on there before we go into the editors. As I mentioned, you can change to a different database while we're in here. So let's just do that. So I'm going to change to Mongo. So we'll notice a big change now because we're going from a table and column layout to more of a document layout. So we'll see as it goes through that process, it'll start creating collections and fields and things in here. Okay, so now we can see, let's just zoom in on this so we can, I can see how this is organized. So now we've got more of a document style with the embedded objects and things in there. Okay, so we can see all of those things. We can go into this editor as well. Edit the collections and the fields in there, so you can see we've got arrays and objects and things, and the sort of thing that you'd expect within NoSQL. Okay, so from here what I can do is save this into the central repository. I need to connect to the central repository called the Mart. Okay, and I can only do that because I've been set up as a user with all the relevant permissions in there, which just briefly have a look at this. So this is the interface to the admin portal for the Mart, and you can see we can add users in here, and they can be of a number of types. So it could be a server user, like the one I'm just used there. It could be a Windows user, Azure AD user, group user. That's because I'm set up for Azure AD. If you set up for LDAP or XAML, then you get a different set of options in there as well. So I've got the permissions to save this, so I can go into the options here, click on save. And then just choose where to save this. Okay, give it a name, save that away. So that's really the round trip where we're just converting from SQL Server into Mongo. So I suppose the other thing that we were talking about were all the resources that we have available as well. So let's go over here. So we have the quest page for Erwin. We've got resources on there, events, resources, blogs, communities. So in those resources, we've got things like events such as this one. We've got videos, articles, all sorts of things in there. We've also got the community portal in there. So that as well, that's accessible through that page. There's also a full set of documentation in the Erwin bookshelf. So you can find all sorts of things here about what's new, the installation, user guides, tools, references and resources all there as well. So that's a very invaluable resource there that you can tap into. We've also got, what else have we got? Of course, we've got the Sandhill pages. So Sandhill, we've got our own resources in here. So we've got the tips and tricks, case studies, articles, videos, lots of good stuff in there as well. So there we have it. If there are any more questions, you know where I am, Jeff.
Wow. Thanks for your time, Steve. That was really informative. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to that Quest website and see if I can't download some sort of trial copy and go through it and start to practice with it and get up to speed. Thanks again, Steve.
No problem, Jeff. Anytime.